Live trained.
What's going on, guys? Thomas Gilman here with Live Train. Gonna go over a simple chop breakdown from the top position of referee's position. So my partner's gonna be down, I'm gonna be on top. And for this, I'm just gonna use mainly my hips to drive, and my hand is just kind of a placeholder to kind of hold his arm in place. A big mistake that all wrestlers make, but especially young wrestlers coming up, is they wanna use their arms, especially on top, to kind of pull guys' arms in to a turn or to a chop, and they want to do stuff like this where they're way out here chopping and they're not using their hips and their full body weight to get this breakdown to this turn. So I'm going to line up here. This is just going to rest here. I'm going to use my back knee. So I'm going to switch over here, better angle. Use this back knee is going to drive in the butt to get him down. So this top hand here is just kind of blocking. I'm using this back leg is where all my power's from, and I'm driving him down this way. Boom. See, I'm really driving my knee. I covered a lot of ground there by driving my knee. Really important that I'm not doing this. Oh. There's a lot of consequences for that. One of them being my arms are gonna get extremely tired, and I'm not gonna be able to hold him down and get a turn, or I get to my feet, I'm just not as effective because my forearms are completely exhausted because I'm squeezing so much on top. So I wanna really focus on using my hips and my legs and using this just as a tool to block his arm. So I'm here starting referee's position. I'm driving my knee up the butt, driving him forward, getting him flat there. From here, there's a lot of things we can do, starting with collecting this wrist, and then moving up, keeping them flat, using my chest and hip pressure here. I don't want to be up here too much. You know, there's some techniques from here, but for now we're just going to keep it simple, keeping them flat, using my chest and my hips and my body weight to keep them down. So that's very basic chop breakdown, but I want you guys to understand that everything we're going to do on top in this series stems from this breakdown in some way, shape, or form because of the hips. I'm using my hips to pressure, to drive. All my power is coming from my hips and my legs. My arms and hands are just kind of like tools. I like to think of it like in the terminology of maybe ancient warfare, right? This is like my battle axe. Like my hips are my battle axe I'm gonna really club guys with, and then my hands are like my daggers, my scalpels kind of thing. So this is detail work, and all the big heavy lifting, so to speak, is coming from my hips. So one more time, simple chop breakdown, kind of keeping my scalpel, my dagger, just kind of posted here, using my battle axe, my heavy hitters here with my hips, driving forward, up the butt, getting them flat. Gonna collect this wrist on the bottom, using my chest and my hips to keep them down. One more detail here that I didn't mention, gonna spin around here, is to keep the full maximum amount of pressure on my opponent. I'm not just laying on him like this, I'm on my toes. I'm on my toes here to push my chest down into him, right there. So maybe one more angle here from the front, maybe this right there. Using this chop here, driving with my hips, driving him down, pushing flat there, collecting that wrist, using my chest and hip pressure on my toes to keep my opponent flat. That's a simple chop breakdown.
Live trained.